3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Graduates, family, friends, Northwestern faculty, and staff. On behalf of Student Enrichment Services, welcome to the inaugural FGLI graduation celebration as we honor the class of 2021. Before we begin, we would first like to ground ourselves in a land acknowledgement.
Acknowledging relationships,
place,
ancestors,
each other,
and of course the Creator,
are paramount to living an Indigenous life.
It is an honor to welcome you to this place, by the lake, and acknowledge the land.
Great Native leaders have met on these shores.
Native traders have bartered on these shores.
Many artists have shared their stories and songs here.
This place continues to be home to many Indigenous people.
And is home to the oldest urban American Indian center in the country.
This whole region, including the land on which Northwestern sits, was the traditional homelands of the people of the Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Odawa.
It was also home over the years to the Ho-Chunk, the Miami, and the Menominee,
along with several other tribes.
The last of these homelands were ceded by the Treaty of Chicago in 1833.
Which triggered a mass removal of the Potawatomi people
to present-day Kansas.
The system of colonialism, which is an ongoing process,
not only ensured the removal and erasure of Indigenous peoples from the land,
but also fueled the enslavement of Black bodies to remake and reform the land into settlements,
cities, states, etc.
As it has been for thousands of years, people have gathered here.
And now we have come together.
We give our thanks to the Creator and these lands that provide water, food, and shelter.
So that we may live, study, and envision a world of tomorrow
that will continue to sustain us generations to come.
It is within Northwestern's responsibility as an academic institution
to disseminate knowledge about Native peoples and the institution's history with them,
along with the ongoing effects of colonialism. Colonialism is living and breathing.
It is current and permeates our society.
This is Northwestern's history,
as it is all our history.
Like many people before us, you have traveled great distances to gather at this place.
Whether you're here on campus or virtually gathering from afar.
And it is our hope that you will return safely back to your homes.
With new stories, new ideas, and new relationships.
It is with care that we offer this land acknowledgement.
And consider our presence on this land
as we are guests here as well.
We ask you to please take a moment and consider your place in this history
as it continues to unfold.
And any commitments you want to make to honor the land and the people on whose land we reside.
We honor those peoples and give thanks for everyone and everything.
First generation, lower income, and/or undocumented DACA students from the class of 2021, we are so excited to celebrate you. This is your day. It's your time. You worked so hard even when you thought you couldn't do it anymore. But you did. You kicked butt and you believed in yourself. And you drew upon your incredible strength and talent. And you paved the way for not just future students, but for your families, for your communities. We are so grateful that you all chose us, trusted us. As you all soak up all of the warm and fuzzy feelings today and over this weekend, we want you to celebrate. We want you to experience joy and light, and we want to hear from you. Post photos, message us on social media, using hashtag FGLIGradNU. Let us know how you're doing. And when we finally see you in person, we'll be waiting to give you all the biggest hugs and so much love. We're so excited for you, and once again, we just want to say congratulations.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Courtney. As we begin today's celebration, we want to take a moment to honor and remember Dr. Patricia Tejas-Irving. Without her, our office and this program might not exist today. A Mexican-American, first-generation college student herself, Patricia cared deeply about creating inclusive environments for students with marginalized backgrounds. After graduating from Duke University, Patricia went on to complete her PhD in counseling psychology from Boston University and spent 30+ years working in higher education as a champion for equity and inclusion. Patricia served as Vice President for Student Affairs for close to 10 years and worked tirelessly to ensure students thrived throughout their time at Northwestern. She played an instrumental role in establishing campus inclusion and community and creating student enrichment services, the university's office dedicated to supporting first-generation, lower-income student success. After nearly a decade with Northwestern, Patricia passed away on June 3rd, 2019, after a long battle with cancer. I've been honored to work alongside of students just like you, and I know Patricia is proud too. We invite a moment of silence to honor and uplift Patricia's legacy on this monumental day.
We need an office to go to.
A place where someone is looking out for us.
I want to see people who have a similar background to mine.
People who I could really connect with.
These were the voices of first-generation lower-income students in 2013.
These students were part of Quest Plus, Northwestern's only student group dedicated to supporting first-gen and/or lower-income students. Through organizing and activism, Quest Plus scholars intentionally met and worked with University President Morton Shapiro and former Vice President for Student Affairs, Patricia Tejas-Irving, to build the case for creating an office to support FGLI students. Patricia met with me and Mary Dessler, former Director of Student Affairs Assessment, to develop focus groups to better understand the experiences of FGLI students on campus. This report became the foundation for a proposal to establish Student Enrichment Services, or SES.
1 year later, in January 2014, Northwestern joined 100 other colleges at the White House College Opportunity Day of Action, sponsored by former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama.
Collectively, these college presidents committed to making higher education more accessible. Through all of these efforts, the vision for an office to support FGLI students was born. Shortly after, Courtney Cockrell was hired as the founding director of Student Enrichment Services.
Over the past 6 years, SES has become home to thousands of FGLI and/or undocumented DACA students at Northwestern. Raising awareness and advocating for change are the core values that guide our work. From removing financial barriers on campus and navigating campus resources,
to developing initiatives and partnerships on campus that led to resources like Books for Cats and the Purple Pantry. Student Enrichment Services keeps its ear to the ground by working with and uplifting the voices of FGLI students across campus.
Those voices remain critical to the work we do each and every day. Those student voices keep us inspired and challenged to continue advocating and pushing for change that will make Northwestern welcoming and inclusive for all students, regardless of their identities and background.
Class of 2021, we do this work for you. We honor you, and we're beyond excited to celebrate you. Congratulations.
Please help me welcome student reflections from FGLI graduates from the class of 2021.
To me, being FGLI means being resilient and being resourceful. It means that I was able to get to the same point as other people with less.
To me, FGLI means overcoming barriers to access. One of the main ones being access to information is something that we as FGLI students have to understand, that we have to reach out to people, we have to just do more in order so that we can achieve the same things, receive the same benefits from coming to a place like Northwestern.
Being first generation and low income to me means really paving your own path. It means being resilient and making sure that no matter what obstacle you come across, you're always moving forward.
We're changing the trajectory of our families, putting the next generation in a better situation just from our experience alone, but also from whatever we do on top of just existing here at this institution.
My time at Northwestern has been extremely hectic. Along with that, though, I've also really been able to have a lot of fun and meet a lot of new friends and just gain meaningful relationships.
I'm going to carry with me the advice and the support and words of encouragement from the friends that I've gained here, and especially the staff members that I've met here.
All of the amazing people that I've met, all of the wonderful experiences, the memories, the late nights, just hanging out, those will be things that I carry with me because they've taught me the importance of being intentional about friendships because, being in this COVID world where it's a lot harder to see people, you understand the value that just having people that care about you being in your life has. And I think that's something I'll definitely carry with me.
It's like a collective win for everyone. It shows that no matter what, that we can do anything. And, even though I've been here, not back home with my family, they've still been supportive. And I know that, getting this degree just shows all the hard work that I've done, for not just for myself, but for them.
Just getting in was a very proud moment for me. I remember it was over winter break. I remember being with my mom and they were talking about, my older brother who, has like student loans and stuff like that. And I could see the impact that was having. And I told my mom, listen, I don't know how exactly I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna make sure that I go to college for free so you don't have to worry about it. At that point, I had no idea how I was gonna do that, but I truly believed that I was going to be able to find some way in order to make that happen. Getting the Quesper Scholarship and getting into Northwestern was, me fulfilling a promise to my mom, which definitely makes me feel really proud.
My family and my friends are absolutely the reason why I'm where I'm at today. I could not have done it without them. My mom especially has really been my personal cheerleader, I would say. She actually used to clean houses in Evanston, and every time she comes here, she's like, I manifested Northwestern for you. It's really just been great to be able to share this experience with her.
I know I may be the first generation from my family to graduate from college, but I'm gonna try my best to make sure I'm not the last.
I would definitely like to honor my parents. They are still, even after going through 4 years at Northwestern, I would say that they're some of the smartest, most hardworking people I've ever met.
I would honor my family for my degree, my mom, my grandparents, my tia, and my younger brothers.
I'm a FGLI student and I would like to honor my parents and my siblings and all my friends and family that have supported me throughout these 4 years and all the time leading up to being at Northwestern.
We did it!
We did it. Cancel the loans, Joe.
Thank you, Cleon, Gabby, and Isabella. Now I'd like to introduce our alumni speaker, Dami Arowalaju.
Many of you come from backgrounds different than the rest of Northwestern. This past year, you may have experienced more lows than highs. This year, the world experienced more lows than highs as a viral pandemic shattered life as we know it. The world shared a collective moment of pain, even if it was disproportionately shared by people of color. In the blink of an eye, our collective journeys hit a pause as we wondered what life in this new COVID world would feel and look like. There were moments of joy. Some welcomed new members of their family. You may have picked up a new hobby, or you may have learned a new TikTok dance. But there were moments of injustice. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. Just the names of a few whose stories made the news. There were moments of pain. people that you loved and cared about deeply may no longer be with you. You may know what trauma feels like, even if you don't have the language for it. Confront what makes you anxious. I dealt with crippling social anxiety until a year ago. A war waged in my mind about my self-worth. I struggled going places by myself because I always assumed the worst of what people thought of me in my presence in a space. My second year of law school, I decided to take this anxiety head on. I actively sought to be with myself and grow comfortable with myself. It was difficult. One time I tried taking myself out to eat at a restaurant, but I left before the waiter came because I was so anxious being at that table by myself in a restaurant full of people. But I kept working on it. A year later, I worked up the nerve to travel to another country by myself. I was in a place where people didn't speak the language, where I didn't speak the language, and I was by myself. I grew comfortable with myself. As I continued working on myself, I realized that I did not need to conform myself to the world. I didn't have to try and act like others in this space to fit in. I will only ever be me, and you will only ever be you. That is all you ever have to be. If people or spaces won't accept you for you, they don't deserve you. I also learned that dealing with mental health is just like dealing with your physical health. It requires routine maintenance. Sometimes I still feel anxious. Sometimes I have negative thoughts, but I've learned to manage it. I've learned to appreciate my self-worth and value. As you embark on this journey, on your next chapter of life, actively manage your mental health. Confront what makes you anxious. Bet on yourself and free yourself from any doubt about your ability to succeed and achieve greatness. As I close, I have 3 other pieces of advice as you depart into your new life as a young professional. First, you do not have to go to every brunch. Seriously, remember there is food at home. Second, keep an open mind. Openness to new experiences allows you to discover more of what the world has to offer than you would ever know existed. Greater shared understanding of our world engenders more empathy, and we need this now more than ever. Finally, be flexible. Your career path will not be linear. It is a river that flows and bends with the earth. They may be a fork or 2 downstream, but you will still be on the right path for you. Appreciate and savor the journey. That is what makes life worthwhile. The journey and not the destination. The world is yours, even if you do not know it yet. Be bold in who you are because the world needs your perspective. Confront what makes you anxious because on the other side is everything that you ever wanted. You got this. God bless you.
Thank you for sharing with us, Dami.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Presentation of stoles for the class of 2021.
Figley students from the class of 2021, we see you and we honor you. Through your contributions in the classroom and on campus, your leadership and student organizing, and your dedication to service, you've paved the way for future generations. And you've made Northwestern a better place by being here. A more inclusive space, an environment that demands justice and equity for all marginalized students.
As we uplift and celebrate our first generation, lower income, and/or undocumented DACA graduates from the class of 2021. We want to celebrate you and to say thank you.
Thank you for being the catalyst of change at Northwestern. We are all so proud of you.
Thank you for building on the legacy of Quest Plus scholars that led to the creation of SES.
We're so grateful that you chose us and that you trusted us to walk this journey with you. You are the most important part of Northwestern.
We can't wait for your next chapter.
A special thank you to our faculty, staff, donors, families, and graduates. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And bravo to our entire SES team for putting together this wonderful event. And our student speakers, Leon, Gabby, and Isabella, as well as Dr. Leslie Ann Brown-Henderson.
Class of 2021, this is only the beginning for you. SES will always be here.
Congratulations, Figley and/or undocumented DACA graduate. You made this campus better.
We are all so proud of you. And now it's time to celebrate.